Surfer. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, Nick?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm here. I just inhaled an apple. I was hungry and I just came off another stream. So,
Yeah,
anyways, I'm here.
I'm gonna recommend don't inhale apples. That's not a
Well,
good practice.
it's best that you chew, but I
Yeah.
didn't have much time. And of course, I probably got peanut butter all over me because I love apples and peanut butter. I'm all about that now. But I got some cotton candy grapes from the grocery store the other day. Oh my gosh, talk about good. Do you guys get that in California?
We do. I'm a pretty stickler on grapes though. We usually stick to organic on the grapes, and they don't make organic cotton candy ones. But those do.
Oh, well, I don't know if I'm sorry. I can't get everything on organic. So I was always taught that the little bit you could do, the better, right? Because you're
You
not
do
going to
the
find
best. You do
anything
the
on
best you
organic.
can. It's with everything in life, right? I live in California. I got to breathe the air. So I'll put an air filter in my house and I'll try to get it good. But where we live, it's kind of a small little valley, so it doesn't look like there's any pollution, but we're still totally covered in the blanket of pollution from
Of
LA and San
of
Diego.
smog.
Oh yeah, there's always smog here. So um, we do the best we can. We put air filters in the house and everything, but I guarantee you my air, even inside with air filters, is probably nothing close to as good as your air up in Maine.
Oh my gosh, yes, we have some decent air because we got a lot of trees, but that's a conversation for another day when everybody's wanting to go solar and cut all our trees down. So
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense
it
either.
doesn't make sense to me. I really don't understand it. And it's going green, but let's cut down all the trees. I mean, there's just a lot of contradiction and hypocrisy and a lot of this stuff and a lot of a lot of money, right? It's about the money. Follow the money is what I've always been taught, So
It
we can
is.
stand.
So I think, but it goes back to what you're saying earlier too. Everything has a trade-off. You do the best you can.
Mhm.
The problem is when you start claiming that one way is the only way to go or one way is a better way to go, and you don't have the data to back it up. That's where I have problems with it.
Yeah, and yes, same. And
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things being thrown around that they don't have the correct data yet. And but they're
They,
trying to convince us otherwise, right? I
oh,
think
they always are.
yeah.
So, question for you, Nick: Have you been watching what gold did today?
It went up, I believe, in silver stayed around 27 something. I no, I haven't really today followed
So,
the spot price.
there's a company that you probably know of called Newmont. This is
Newmont.
not a paid advertisement by them or anything, but they had really good earnings that came out. I just wanted to share this with everybody.
Oh, mining stock.
It is a
So
mining stock.
gold
So
mining stock.
you can look at that up. It went up
That's a
almost
huge jump, right? That's a huge
almost
jump.
13% in one day. So they had earnings that came out. So, what I want to point out is mining stocks can have a huge uptake. You can make money from them. They'll also do the opposite as prices go down. They'll go way down.
So is
So
that a dividend-based stock or is that
yeah, today, like where the price closed for the day, that stock is paying 3.76% dividend yield.
wow?
Isn't too bad.
That's not too
And
bad.
it's
And sometimes they have incentives. I don't know if this particular company does, where I think it's First Majestic. I think that if you own so much, you can get you can have a 10% discount. I don't recall exactly the figures, but I think you can get a discount on products.
yeah, that could be. So it's getting closer to the 52-week high. But most of these stocks are still beaten down pretty much on the
Is
daily.
that a
They've been
company
moving up
that's
for the last 2 weeks, but
where's the company located?
I don't know. I don't know enough about Newmont. I just saw that they had good earnings and they jumped up today. I don't do a lot of mining stocks. I'll kind of buy a few of them that are out
Hmm.
there. Let's see. Their geographic areas in North America, South America, Nevada.
Okay.
They have stuff in Carlin, Phoenix, Twin Creeks, and Long Canyon. In the state of Nevada, Cripple Creek, Victor in the state of Colorado, and South America segments. They've got in Peru and Sierra Negro. I don't know where that is. And then the company's been around since May 2nd, 1921.
Oh, so it's
And
an
they're located
established
in
company.
Denver, Colorado. Yeah, they're
So you have a
established.
lot of data that you can go back and look just to see how well that stock is doing, because that's what I tend to do is I want to see historical data before I even,
Yeah, so
I
if you
do that.
look at this one here, one of the reasons I do like it is because of the dividend yield. But if
Mhm.
you go back to the 5-year max, it'll show a price of about I don't know if I can keep my thumb on there. You're not gonna be able to see it that way.
Yeah.
Let me do it this way. It's gonna be right around $84,
Okay. So
right?
it's got room to grow from the high
From
within
the
5
all-time high,
years.
but you gotta look at the factors of what it did. You gotta look at the date. You gotta look at the year, all that stuff.
Yeah, and what
But I
gold is doing right now, and do we think it's gonna come back down some more, but
exactly.
again, that's speculation, all of that speculation, and I don't like to do that. So
So for those of you that are playing around with mining stocks, that's some news that happened today. I just wanted to
I'd be
point that
curious
out.
to know if anybody in the chat, if they do own mining stocks, and if there are some stocks that they suggest that we look at and kind of analyze, and
Yeah,
if
let's
they
well let's
suggest
let's
any.
welcome the chat and then
Sure.
let's see what their thoughts are on it too. That'd be great.
Nickel, good to see you. I like buying gold with no premiums, taxes, or fees. Me too, but I don't think he's buying much gold, if that's what he likes to buy.
Well, if it
Jack,
was, then it would be gold stacking basketball guru auction pro music. Maybe
and
he's
when
mostly
did
buying
music come into the mix?
nickel. That way he adds something like every
Okay,
month.
I feel like something's been taken away, and now he's pro music. I mean, come on, Nicole. I need to hear from you. I need to know about this stuff. And so Jack in Compton, and I saw just a few minutes ago down at the bottom, he says, "I still love you." Well, I didn't know you stopped. I
You got to
mean,
be careful how you phrase those things because
yeah,
now
because I
Nick's
mean,
got
I
a
was
second
kind of
thought.
wondering, did you ever like, not? Seymour Rivers and freaking awesome because he's so freaking awesome.
Oh, that's funny.
Craig, as always, is awesome and good to see you. Let me see. Farm Dog, good evening.
Farm
And
dog.
West Texas Stacker. Okay, going through. Let's see if I didn't. And Gerald, Michael Stacking.
We've got
Okay.
Compton as well. Uh,
Amy, and I sent you something, Amy, so be on the lookout for that. I sent it, it was either Monday. Did yours go out Monday or the other day? It was this week. I can't remember. I had 2 mailing days, 2 days of shipping, and I'm over shipping. I mean,
the
seriously.
mailman only comes twice a week in Maine.
I tell you what. So we'll just say this. Okay. So I sent Steve some mail at the same time I sent Todd Miller, and Todd Miller lives 2 hours south of me, and Steve lives in Georgia. They both got it on the same day. What does that
Well,
say?
what happened to my mail you sent like a month ago?
I know, and I know
It got stuck.
it got stuck, but it's out there now, and I'm following the tracking. I'll send you the tracking number as
Okay,
well.
good. I think that'll be good.
Yes.
Um,
And chew.
Chew, welcome. How many stickers do you have left, Nick?
I probably have 5 of the Coin Talk stickers, and I probably have maybe, give or take 30 of mine left. So email me if you want a sticker because they're going fast, and this is a one of a kind because they'll never be done again.
Yep.
I'll never have a channel sticker ever again.
Those are the only ones you guys are gonna get.
They're the only ones you guys are going to get. So if you want one, email me at nixcoinsllc@gmail.com.
There you go.
First come, first serve.
And then welcome Jake's Custom Parts. Howdy, how's it going? OC Stacker.
OC in the house.
And then Gerald Draper and Fluff Nugget. Fluff Nugget always gets me. That one
I
is just
love Fluff. Oh, because of the puppy, but I love Fluff Nugget. I
yeah.
love it when he's in the chat. And he's hilarious too. And he's really good at photography. He's grade 8 Scott. Good to
There
see
you
you.
go.
He
Great
takes
Scott.
some amazing pictures.
Great stuff.
And I believe we spoke to Seymour Rivers. I'm going through this. BTO, good to see you. I'm sorry, who did you say?
Yeah, same one. I don't know if you say Beto or BTO.
And Coining Around, it's good to see you. He's on Wednesdays and Sundays. Go check out his channel. They're
Definitely.
doing coin. Yeah, he does auctions and coin roll hunting. So I know Surfer likes to look at the coin roll hunting.
We have tried the coin roll hunting, and I have been unsuccessful so far. I need to find a couple new banks to get some better boxes.
Well, he's in Cali too, so I believe he's in Cali part of the time. So I don't know where he's been getting his boxes lately, but and Crafty Stacker and Jake's. Did you already say? I got.
It's all good. Hey, Crafty, welcome. And then Metal Dragon Braveheart.
I sent yours out this week too.
1 million Concord grapes in his backyard. Are you going to make wine with that? That's the question.
Oh, do you have cotton candy grapes?
No, those are natural. Those are like added, I think.
Oh.
I think they're hybrid. So I think you have to have a special seed for them to come out that way.
Oh, well, they're delicious.
It's what did they do with apple too? They did like a grape apple.
Yeah, I don't want those. I just want cotton candy grapes, and I like them frozen. I like them refrigerated. I just like cotton candy grapes. They're delicious. So
Great Scott says fractional gold premiums have been jumping a lot lately. Never buying gold backs though.
Fractional gold premiums have come down quite a bit, or not. They've come down, not gone up.
So the price might be going up, but what's happening to the premiums?
Price may be going up a little bit. The premiums have been coming down.
They have.
And so
we're definitely going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to get to that because, yeah.
And Gerald Draper, welcome.
To speak to Neil.
Neil as well. And if you guys haven't hit that thumbs up, please do that. That lets everybody know that we're on now. And it helps us have even more fun in here. Tupac's in the house.
Yeah, Tupac is coining around.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, that's his channel, but his name is Tupac. But
awesome, I love it.
I wonder if he raps like him.
Maybe. We
hear
that song.
Good afternoon, and Sean's Precious Metals.
Welcome, SPB.
Good to see you, and thank you for all the boxes again. And we need to post his channel link in the chat as well. We should.
We do. So any mods, that would be great to do that.
I'm trying to go through and make sure. Anthony, good to see you. Michael K.
Robert Kemp.
Did I miss somebody? I'm sorry. And let me see. Gold Sniping Farmer.
And then Frostbite Coins and Collectibles. He just hit 2,500 subscribers.
Congratulations. Well, I mean, I'm not surprised because his channel is great. He puts out great videos, interesting videos, great learning videos. I mean, some of the history videos he's been putting out are my favorite. And I don't it's hard for me to keep my attention span on something long enough to sometimes get through somebody's videos. But the ones that he's had on the history, I mean, amazing. And I'll go back and watch it again to make sure I learned everything and I've retained it all, because that's the OCD in me. We'll save the therapy session for later.
That's fine.
Is it Fatty 71? I hate to fat shame you, but you're Fatty 71.
Uh-oh.
And Jason. George Matthews. It's good to see you, my friend. I hope you're feeling better.
Good to see you. Let's see, who else do we got in here? Gold Sniping Farmer.
Yeah, I'd like to know what that means too. And Steven, good to see you.
Nick, I'm going to excuse myself for just a quick second here. I'm going to put it on mute if it's okay for a minute.
Sure. He probably has to yell at his kids. No, I'm just kidding. Scott Silver. And Travis. Let's see. I don't want to miss anybody, but I know I'm going to. Forgive me if I do. And Gary, good to see you. They all have kookaburra on them. OC, I know. I need the warning. I hate being what I call big. I'm glad you're feeling better, George Matthews. I'm doing well. Thank you, Frostbite. But Frostbite, if you want to name those videos that I'm referring to, one about the Morgans, and there was another one too that was hands down some of my favorite videos, and I'm saying in my top 5. I mean, they were excellent videos, and the information was great.
I'm having allergies. I cleaned out my room yesterday, and it's still really dusty.
I just hi things. I'm a jigger. Robert Caldwell, good to see you. Well, hi Jeff. So I told him that you probably had to, go yell at your kids. Is what I said you probably had to do.
No, the kids are okay at the moment, but just dust was getting to me. So I may have a couple issues in here today, but I'll try my best not
Sure,
to
good to see you. Okay.
go too crazy. But Nick, one of the things I wanted to ask the audience today is, because we just mentioned it, put a 1 in if you have any mining, gold or silver mining stocks. And then so put a 1 in it, and then next to that you can put in what your favorite one is that you guys like.
I can be honest, I do not have any. I've followed several that I've seen other people push on YouTube, and I wasn't impressed. And a lot of them were penny stocks. So, and with penny stocks, that doesn't necessarily, it's very risky. It's risky that the company could go under or merge with another company. And so I was very hesitant. I'm still hesitant on them. I didn't need to do my research on them. I don't ask. I won't ask.
To your point, Nick, with anything that you do in the stock market, you are buying a fractional part of a company, but you're buying it based on earnings that are going to come out in the future. It's not based on what the company is doing today. And depending on what the earnings ratios can be, a lot of times you're paying huge, massive multiples, like with Tesla stock.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just whether the company is sound and whether it's going to go out of business or stay in business. It's also looking at how much hype is around it. And is it really overbought, oversold? Is it overvalued? And all of that can change on a dime when the economy changes. If we go into recession, all those valuations go down, even if the companies are still doing okay.
Right. So
you got to be careful with anything you do in the stock market. It is not the same as holding like a gold or silver coin. It's not the same as holding, a piece of real estate. It has a lot more factors that can fluctuate the price.
So Frostbite just put AGI, which I'm going to put the ticker down so I can check that out too. So for example, what you just said about the hype, because we saw Tesla stock went down quite a bit in one day. And then you had Elon Musk, and he came out and said a few words, and then the stock went right back up. So, he can create his own hype. So it's like, what happens to the company if he was to get sick or pass away?
You can see the down and then the up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you it's overpriced. The stock is so overpriced, in my opinion, it's not even funny.
So
let's see. Where's
you're talking about Tesla?
Yeah, it's sitting at, it's doing better than where it was, but it's still sitting at like 41 times earnings.
Yes, but again, it went down, and when he made a speech, within the next day, and then it went right back up again. So is his company sustainable? Like we'll say Apple is when Steve Jobs passed away. Apple's still doing well. Would Tesla still do well without Elon Musk and coming out and saying a few words? Because he brings a lot of hype.
Probably not. It probably won't do the same potential it could with him. Mm-hmm. I think Apple's potential would be way bigger with Steve Jobs today if he was still alive.
Absolutely, but still, it still is huge.
It's still huge. So it's a little different, though. Right now, Tesla's not selling consumer good products that go to the average home. His cars are still going to run you in the 30,000 plus range.
Well, that's true. But at the time, too, you had Apple was very expensive at one time, and the average folk could not afford them.
It's true, but they came out with the first smartphone, and that's kind of where they started to become more household
mainstream and household friendly. Yeah.
But anyway, I think there is a place for mining stocks in a portfolio. To me, that's after you've already taken care of your prepper stack for SHTF. I think that's after you've taken care of your whatever percentage of your investable money you want to have in precious metals. When you've already taken care of that, then I think you can start to do some more delving into things that are more risky, like mining stocks, and they can have huge upside, by the way. I will tell you, though, I put money in 2 years ago and my money just kept going down, 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 down like crazy. And I had better use for it. So I took it out.
So mining stock would be a lot like our stack, is be something that you'd want to hold for a period of time.
It is something you want to hold for a period of time. But for me, anything I put in the stock market, I'm looking to get a specific yield on it, a return within a certain period of time. And after 2 years, if I'm losing 10, 20% in it, I'm going to go put the money to use in some other area. With mining stocks, what's nice with those, just to point out this, is you do have the ability to see where the price of gold is going, the spot price. And when you start seeing the spot price going up, you have a pretty good indicator that the mining stocks are also going to start to go up.
Yes.
So to me, now is the time I'm starting to buy mining stocks again at a slow pace. And could I be buying at the top? I could be. What do you need? Okay.
So Frostbite said that Apple only dropped 2.2% when Steve passed away.
It didn't drop too much, but I think they were pretty established at that point too. With Tesla, a lot of its value is based on their robots coming out that don't exist quite yet.
Exactly. And I really feel like Elon Musk is full of hype, and people listen to his hype. I mean, look what happened when that crypto coin was what a joke, and then he went on Saturday Night Live, but yet everybody purchased it. I mean, I think he believes his own hype, but I think he also is narcissistic enough, but he's a genius, and to continually create hype, and maybe they don't even have that in production. I mean,
the robot thing looks pretty crazy, but I can tell you I'm not putting one in my house.
I don't think I'll never say never. I mean, the Jetsons did it. Who knows?
I won't be putting it in my house. Do I get old enough, my kids buy me one and they put one in my house to take care of me when I'm a lot older? Maybe. But I remember the movie iRobot, and those things turned on everybody.
Yeah, I'm just not ready. I'm too, I want to be in control of everything. So I don't even have one of those robot vacuum cleaners that everybody loves. And I'm like, no. I just don't see how that could work and get in the corner. I just don't see it. So it doesn't go under the furniture like I would. And so I don't have one of those.
Have you seen?
He has one. Figures he'd have one.
Yeah, he's got one. Have you seen the little dog robots, Nick, that will walk like they're about the size of like they're a little bigger than a Maltese, maybe like a like a Cocker Spaniel size, and they're robots, and they'll run with you as you're running on a track, and they're there to kind of protect you. And I saw a person that set up like 6 of them, and they were running down the street with them. I didn't see it in person. It was on social media. I got to say that would concern me a little bit.
So I want to know, are you buying gold right now?
Right now, I am not buying gold, and I am not buying silver. I'm selling.
Okay. And if I was a robot, I am purchasing. I'm not purchasing as much silver unless I can get it close to spot as I can get it, but I am still purchasing gold. Very little, but I am still doing. Hi, John Jacobs. I'm in Lassie Farm. I'm still doing the 1/10. I brought bottles back this week, and yes, I put some of that towards a 1/10 because I brought back 1,000 bottles, and
so I do have a video that is not out yet where I was able to get about $220 from my spare change. And I did a Coinstar so I could show you guys what not to do, because it does cost like
$15. I would never do it once. Yeah.
$15 to do it. But I wanted to show you guys that, and I didn't have time to roll it. And then I also did bottles. So I'm going to show that. So I have like $200 I've got towards silver.
I made $170 off bottles.
Nice.
But I counted and sorted them. So but again, I have to remind everybody that I know that this is money that we already spent. So to me, it's not like I made money. It just so happens that it's almost like a savings that I keep them until I have at least that many, because I don't find bringing anything less than that's worth it to me.
It's like part of your tax return.
I'm sorry?
It's like a tax return.
It's
You're paying a tax and you're getting
Yes,
part of the
exactly.
tax.
So, but it's better than saving 5 cents here and there. So it's 5 cents bottle return because you pay the deposit when you purchase the bottles. And we purchase a lot of water bottles, and I know that's not good. We shouldn't do that. And my daughter is so into those seltzer waters, so and Gatorades. So I brought those back, and I had $170 that I could put towards a 1/10 gold this month. So yes, it's still, gold is higher, but I'm going to be steady about it, because if I wasn't steady, then I would never have started purchasing gold in the first place.
No, I think it's good. I'm at the point right now, I have no disposable income. Everything is so extremely tight for me. I'm just hoping I don't have to start selling parts of my stack and my other investments just to float here.
Hmm.
California has just gotten so crazy expensive. Eating out, good luck on doing it for under $20 for lunch. Everything's just
Well,
super.
that's like that here though too. You can't even go to a McDonald's, which I don't suggest, because I don't, it's not healthy eating. I think you should eat healthy to kind of hopefully help on your medical costs later on. But I know some people that go to McDonald's, and for two people cannot get away with just spending $20 and under anymore. I mean, long are the days that the dollar menu.
No, I mean, I'm gluten free. Very rare occasion will I ever eat gluten, and I've got to take like a digestive enzyme with it. It makes me really, really sick. But every once in a while, when my kids wants to go McDonald's, and I refuse to go unless it's right. And the
Yeah.
reason for it is very expensive. So McDonald's here will run you about $15 for a Big Mac, a medium fry, and a medium drink.
Yeah, my kid and her friend went out. She's like, "Mom, can I have $25?" I'm like, "No, what do you want that for?"
For
She was
lunch.
to go to McDonald's. I said, "You kids have jobs. I'm not spending 25 at McDonald's. You pay for it. You
Yeah.
pay for it." So
But
Frosty says we could go to McDonald's because it can preserve our insides. But I think that he's really saying, say no to McDonald's, say yes to Frosties, and he's promoting Wendy's.
I think that's what's happening. But here's the other thing. There's a new campaign, unless it's fake, but I saw it on social media, so it has to be real, right, Nick? But it's
Yeah, of
Burger King
course.
showing a hamburger over like a few, like 12 days or 13 days or whatever it is, degrading. The mold takes it and eats it. There's other people that have pulled out McDonald's hamburgers that are like 25 years old and they haven't
Oh,
molded. Even the meat's not molded. So I don't
oh,
know. I don't want to throw anything bad for McDonald's out there or any of these other companies, but I've seen that stuff on social media. I don't know if it's real or not, but what I do know is the costs have gone up.
yeah.
So, for McDonald's here, it's been pretty expensive, but for me, I can save money going into In-N-Out if I'm going to eat out.
We
Um,
don't have any of those around
and
here.
then we have like Smash Burger or like Shake Shack. We have those around here. So they're about the same cost as McDonald's, and they both offer gluten-free buns. So I'm not a fan of McDonald's for sure, unless they offer a gluten-free bun. And even at that, the prices seem pretty high compared to.
I mean, that's like fast food anywhere though. I mean, up here minimum
I
wage
try
has
not to eat
gone
too
up.
much
So
fast food.
just to pay their folks to work when they're making $18 an hour, I mean, you have to go up on your cost. And who are they going to better? They're going to go up in their
This
cost, and they're
is
going to pass it off to the consumer.
this is what
So
I'd say. In-N-Out's fresh. All the meat's fresh. They never freeze it. The potatoes are fresh, and they make it right there. There's no reason to go to anywhere else than In-N-Out most of the
that's
time.
why I go to Chick-fil-A, because Chick-fil-A, you can get grilled chicken, and it's a lot healthier.
Yeah. So I think that's all interesting. But here, everything's gone to $20 an hour. In-N-Out's now paying $25 an hour to their employees. So when you do that, it gets very expensive. Now, In-N-Out's come out with an article, and they talked about how they're not going to raise the food prices right now. So they're basically a private company sacrificing profit margin at the moment to try to keep their customers happy.
What look what paying our fast food, employees, they usually are high school workers, right? A lot of kids, that's their first job.
Here,
So
not so much. Yeah,
right.
you have
So
moms and dads doing it here.
in our state, where the risk is closing, is farms. because where farms would have paid a lot more, now you can go eat fast food or go work for a fast food company and make the same amount of money you would working on a potato farm or a blueberry farm. And so that's what's going to put them out of business, is fast food restaurants. It's going to put farming out of business, because they're willing to pay their employees the same amount of money, but a lot less work than working on a farm. A lot less, hours are different. You don't have to get up so early. You don't, it's not as hard work as it may be. And I know working at a fast food restaurant is hard work. Don't get me wrong, but
it's not all equal. I like the guys I see at In-N-Out, the guys and girls working there, they're working pretty hard and they're running around all over the place. And it's also
they are, but they don't have a blueberry break. We don't have,
they don't,
right.
They are moving around a lot. You go to some of these fast food places and you see two people behind there kind of depressed. I go to In-N-Out and I see like 10 people in there. So there's way more people. They're paying them way more. And they turn the food so fast and they do a lot more business.
Right. And that's true. But, when you have back-breaking work and you have a blueberry rake and because ours aren't, they're on the ground so that's hard work. Picking potatoes, because we're a potato state. It's hard work.
There you go. So check this comment out, Nick. I think this is funny. There you go. Maybe we can all look forward to that.
Yeah, because you're not making money. If the farms go to business, there will be no food to be fast. And that is true. It is true. But that's the way that things are going right now when minimum wage has gone up so high. I mean,
it's true. So Nick, what do you think happened? What do you think a lot of the restaurants did when they had to start raising the wages for their employees?
So I know in my state, we don't have Burger Kings have gone out of business. So the closest Burger King now, like 4 of them went out of business in this vicinity. So for us to just get a Whopper, we have to drive 2.5 hours. And I would much rather have a burger from Burger King than I would McDonald's, because, the burger, I would, I don't eat the bun, but I'd eat the burger. It's grilled versus, I don't know what McDonald's.
Well, I'll address Steve's thing here real quick. Hey, if I could buy stock in In-N-Out, I would. It's a privately held company. You cannot buy any stock in it. You cannot buy any franchises. It's all owned by one family, and there you go. I mean, there's nothing you can get. You have to marry into the family to have any interest in it. I talk it up big because it's unique to Southern California. It's grown into other states now. It's all fresh. Are there any preservatives on it? Not that I'm aware of. And it's fresh, and they do a good job at it, and it's less expensive than everything else. So if you grew up in California, you're probably a pretty big In-N-Out fan.
Sergeant Gold, yes, I do eat. I'm not a big roll person, but I do eat bread, yes. But with that being said, I probably would take at least a top off, because if I'm going to eat out and eat nasty food and have all those calories, I'm going to try to cut it somewhere. So I would take, it off the top. So I would order a double hamburger and just take the top off, but then I'm getting more protein. And yes, I would get a small fry versus look, I'm a woman of that age, and if I want to stay thin, I have got to cut calories.
I'll take 2 French fries.
yeah. But but the fact of the matter is, I have a healthy appetite and I'm always snacking. So I've got to, cut somewhere.
Yeah. So to address Fatty 71 here, I don't think you should be eating very much out of your house, and I don't think you should be eating things that come out of a box. So my kids are always complaining, why do we have to be the ingredients house? Why are we making things from ingredients? Why can't we just have the boxes like all my friends have?
I hate that when she says that. Why can't we do that? I hate that.
It's way more expensive to buy processed food. It's not as good for you. I try to do as much organic as I can, and you still have to clean that stuff. It's still, not perfect. And if I could grow food, I would love to do that. I don't even know what a local farmer is. I think we have.
Oh my gosh, you need to get out of Cali a little bit.
I know. So I think the closest farmer we have is probably an hour away, out like in Temecula area. There might be some people in, I forget the name of the city that's over by Oceanside, but
how about
there's not really farms here. It's just houses everywhere, and everybody can touch each other out the windows if you want.
I want to address this comment where it says governments globally have been overspending for decades. How about just the US government has been overspending for decades? And then the governments that we are taking care of in the world, we're borrowing money to send money to other governments around the world. How does that make any sense?
Well,
We have
it's
to borrow it to let people borrow from us,
it's
but yet they
true.
don't pay us back. They don't pay us back.
I
Ever.
heard, Nick, I heard our biggest export is US dollars.
Money is what?
US dollars is our
And
biggest export.
yeah, and good luck with that. I hope eventually as the dollar bill, goes down. But seriously, it's amazing to me on how much money we have to borrow, but then once we get it, we give it away.
Well, so here's our issue, right? We're spending a lot more money. It's at least $1 trillion, maybe it's $2 trillion more a year. I haven't looked at the budget and what our income is from taxes, but I think the president's looking to increase capital gains up to like 40 something percent or 37%, some crazy high number that we've never had before. What's the point in investing if you're going to be giving most of it away to the government? I mean, what's the point in it? I'd rather put it into gold and silver. Why go take the risk of buying an apartment complex and renting it out, and
Or even
having
having a business in
your
the country,
profits
or
that way?
even have business and corporations stay in this country and pay people good because
44.6%. That's ridiculous. It should be somewhere like 10 or 15% or 0%. How about we don't tax
just
income? How about we tax consumption? That's what I'd like to see.
the flat tax. I like that. I would be for the flat tax.
A lot of people are for it. I say not even a flat tax. I don't think it goes far enough. I think it's zero tax. I think you have no tax on income whatsoever. Don't penalize working. You basically have all your tax tied to purchases. Now you have it scaled. You need to be able to make sure people that don't have very much money can still afford to buy
I would have
food.
to see the numbers on that because you still have local governments. You have to pay your firemen, your cops.
But that doesn't come through income tax anyway. That's all through property tax. Well, maybe not all through property tax, but it's primarily from property tax, sales tax. The income tax is primarily going to the federal government.
No, we have income. Yeah, I guess we paid on both. You
State
pay.
tax is different. I'm just talking federal
Oh,
income.
you're just talking federal, okay? Because we do have, yeah, it goes towards your state and local, because their state also takes those taxes as well, income tax.
And then I'm not even excited about property tax because what if someone pays their house off and they come on hard times and they can't pay their $1,000
And that has happened.
lose their house.
Sergeant Gold, I mean, seriously, in my state, I mean, we'd be all set. But with that type of business, because it's okay. So if your state legalizes it, it's legal. But then the federal government says it's illegal. So you have to, it's a cash-based, business. So I would like to know how many are really reporting everything when their sole business is cash only, period.
Well, unless you're auditing the plants, how would you know how much was harvested? So I'm guessing
And that's true.
I'm guessing that's probably the best tax avoidance strategy in the country. Is probably
Yeah, but I mean, but that's just because of the way, the states say yes, but the federal government says no. So, when it comes to getting a bank account, I don't think they're able to because of that reason. And that's why they're a cash-based system.
Okay, I used $1,000 as an example, guys. I wish my property taxes were only $1,000.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You pay off a house here in California and you still have a house payment with your
Like
property.
my car tax was $1,000 this year to register my car. So I could tell you right now, just for my car to register, and that's just one. So that was $1,000 I just had to fork out for the registration for the year, and that's every year.
Yeah.
So I wish my property taxes were $1,000.
Oh my gosh! If my property taxes were $1,000, I'd be way happier than I am.
I'd be buying more property.
Yeah. So here in California, we've got a proposition that basically locks in your property taxes, so they cannot go up more than 1% per year. I basically cannot move, Nick. If I move next door, my property taxes double. They go up by $20,000.
$15 to register your car. Now my husband's older vehicle, it's not as much, but down south when it was he had that same vehicle, it was like it was $20 to register.
Yeah, we're probably in the. I have to look at it. I haven't registered a car recently, but I think I'm around $550, $600 to register a car.
So yes, Texas loves their veterans, and so does Florida. So we have a lot of snowbirds. I say Florida's a bunch of Yankees, anyways, because half of the people in New England are snowbirds. So what they'll do is they'll register their cars in Florida because they don't have to pay for registration at all. So you'll see a lot of Florida tags in the summertime because they register their car. They use their address down south in Florida to register it instead of up here. But I mean, it's legal because you only have to live 6 months of the year wherever your address is. So it's legal.
Well, Nick, maybe we'll do a show one time where we can compare property taxes, registration taxes. We can compare.
Yeah, but then that gets into a lot of our personal
Sales
finances and stuff
tax.
because,
Well, I'm not saying the dollar amount, but the percentages. Like,
okay, yeah.
Here in California, we have a step tax, so it'll start low and it goes up to, I think it goes up to 16% for state tax.
For 2 years,
Sales tax is just shy of 8% here, and then property tax is about 1.25% of what your house is worth, and then you end up with if you make over $1 million a year in California, you have a 1% additional mental health tax that you pay.
Oh, we're not going to be talking about $1 million in income over this way.
I don't make that. I'm just saying there's all these taxes that come up, but
and yes, I probably will never have a new car ever again while I'm living in this state because I am not going to continually pay these taxes. But with that being said, you can't have any bit. Of course, I live in a New England state, so you can't even have like a tiny bit of rust, or you can't get your car registered to put on the road. So they'll get you in the smog test now. We have that up here too. So they kind of make you have to maintain your cars, and sometimes like GMCs rust, and it's not the undercarriage where you can have that sprayed. It's like above the wheels is where they've been rusting quite a bit lately, and so
yeah, we don't have that same issue, but we do have really strict requirements on.
It's a good thing I'm good-natured frostbite and not a real blonde.
Group tax. Oh goodness, that's funny.
That is cute.
Okay, so Nick, kind of changing the subject a little bit here. We had a bunch of people put a 1 in for the mining stocks, so we know some of them are doing that. We had a lot of people put a 0, so I think a lot of people don't want to touch them. We've hit that subject. But
in my opinion, it's more risky than like when I purchased stock in Exxon. Exxon has never let me down, and
no,
it's
totally
up and down as like a mining stock. So
yeah, it's different. Like, you're not going to buy a mining stock as a dividend stock, even though some of them pay a dividend. You're going to buy a mining stock because you believe gold and silver prices are going to go up, and it's a way to get a leveraged play without having to do options trading. That's why you buy a mining stock.
But in the sense of numismatic coin collecting or even stacking, if you don't own it, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. So wouldn't that be just, even though it's a mining stock, wouldn't that fall under, you don't own it if you don't hold it?
Well, there's nothing to own, right? There's no
shares in a company, but still, it's not, you're not holding the physical.
Right? They have what's in the ground. They have the rights to the mineral rights. They have what they've already mined, and then they have what they're producing to get over to the,
like socialism, because you're sharing with a bunch of people when you own that part of that company and stuff in the ground, right? So you're sharing your shares, but then my gold and silver that I have here at home is all mine.
Yeah. So fractional gold. Do you own any fractional gold?
That's all I own. I do not buy anything over 1/10. And
you don't have any like 10-ounce bars laying around?
And if I did, I'd be out spending it right now. But no, I don't.
So fractional gold comes in a couple different ways to me. You can buy them in grams. So you see a lot of bars. If it comes in the bar size, a lot of times you'll see grams. You can see them come in, in the form of 10th ounces, quarter ounces, half ounces.
That's one I wouldn't suggest. So, and I'm a big fan of fractional, but when it comes to the 1 grams, I say save your money and then get to at least a 1/10 because of the premiums on the 1 gram. You're going to spend a little bit more.
So when you're looking at it, there's the form function of they're less expensive, so they're easier to afford.
Yes, it's much easier to afford, and it's much easier.
Yeah.
for
What
me
about
to
the premiums?
sell.
What do you
Sell
see
to
premium wise?
premium wise right now. Okay. Premium wise, before the price of gold went really high, I wouldn't pay over 15% premium. Although you would find it all the way up to at least 27 to 30% premium on a 1/10. I have never paid anything above 15% premium, and that's because I've shopped around. So when I was purchasing 1/10s when it was $1,400 an ounce, I've made my premium plus more back on that gold. And gold is an easier sell, much easier sell than silver. It really is. And if you hold it long enough and wait, gold prices are going up, and you can make some money off it. Especially if you have to sell, it's so much easier.
So a thing to kind of bring up here, there's a lot of stackers in the community that focus more on like prepping stacking, and
Fine.
they'll bring up the premiums. So I know Yankee will recommend going no smaller than a quarter ounce.
Hi,
I've heard
Randy
that
Matthews.
times. I have a couple quarter ounces and I have a couple half ounces, but I probably, at least in bullion, I have a lot more 10th ounces. But when I buy my 10th ounces, I would say majority of them have been purchased for around $220,
Mm.
225, maybe 230 at the most. I
Hi.
have a hard time paying the big premiums for them. So we were talking about this offline before we got on. I'm not sitting there only focused on like eagles and paying the higher premium on eagles. If I see a 10th ounce gold that is at least 22 karat to 24 karat gold, and it has at least a 10th ounce in it of real gold, then I'm really looking at getting myself into a situation where I'm looking for the best price. And then
Because gold is gold, bullion is bullion. At the end of the day, gold is gold. But as we said, if we can get I would rather have a gold eagle, but if it's going to be a lot more than what I can get a 1/10 ounce for, and it be just Philharmonic, or something. Gold is gold, bullion is bullion, and I would much rather pay that cheaper price. So right now I looked, and so as I said, my average cost per average is 13% on a 1/10.
Okay.
So okay. So and that was before gold prices went up. So right now on a 1/10, we're looking at 10.78% premium. So even though the costs have gone up, your premiums have come down. Okay. So right now the cheapest I found just a few minutes ago was 258. And it wasn't long ago where the premiums I was seeing where gold's price was maybe around 2000 an ounce, and people were buying it for 250. So that's not much more than 258 right now.
It's not. And the other thing to keep in mind when you go to sell these back, okay, I know a lot of you don't plan on ever selling it back, but at least for me, part of the reason I have this is it's savings. And if I have a big emergency, I'm going to tap into it. Um, you're not going to get your premium back when you go to sell it back. That's one of the reasons you really want to make sure you're not paying that massive premium. Depending on the time when you go to sell it back, sometimes they'll be paying you over spot. Sometimes they're going to pay you at spot. Sometimes they'll pay you a little bit below it. You tend to get a little better value with the 10th ounce because they do have a higher premium than if you're selling a 1 ounce gold coin. But you're not going to get, if you buy it, Nick, and you have a 10% premium on it and you go to sell it back the next day, you're not going to get 10% premium.
No, not at all. But no, you're not. But you don't buy it with the thought that you're going to sell it the very next day either. So I had purchased, like I said, when I first started purchasing gold myself, the 1/10s, it was around $1,400 an ounce. And I believe it was one summer, I don't remember what we did, but I sold some, and I sold it to an online bullion company. Okay. So you get a quote instantly that day, you send it in, and you get your money put right into your bank account. For me, because I don't have an LCS, I can go say, hey, will you purchase this gold? That was very convenient for me, but I made my premium plus more back on that particular gold. Silver, I mean, there's no way I would be able to silver, I'm going to lose the silver I have right now. I'd probably lose some if I was to go sell it right now or bring it to a LCS, or I'm definitely not going to do it with an online bullion company. But with my gold, yeah. So it's much, much easier sell. And then I've sold some peer to peer as well. And people can afford 250 versus a 1/4 right now is 619. And that's with a 6.19% premium.
That makes sense.
But
So
again, so where the premiums where the price has gone up, the premiums have come down. So it's kind of almost evened out right now from what I was purchasing them probably 4 months ago. The price isn't that much different.
yeah, you know, for a long time we had a range, I would say, in like the 220s to 235 for a lot of 1/10.
That
And
was
then
at the best price, but because I was seeing it at
that was the best
250.
price.
Yeah,
And
that
then,
was the very lowest price.
but I think the average I've seen over the last 3 or 4 years has been closer to 250. And then I'm starting to see prices that are up above 300.
But shop around because again, I
They're really
find the
high.
sweetest deals, but I take my time and I shop around. So even when the premiums were at the highest that I've seen for the 1/10s, I wasn't paying over 13% premium. And a lot of the times I was getting for 11% of the premiums, 11% premium. So, but I took my time and I shopped around and I never, I'd never had FOMO. I never looked at the spot price saying, oh, I better buy today because the dip is today. I mean, I took my time and I shopped until I found the best price.
So people were asking about ads. I fixed something. It looks like it had check mark to put ads in the middle of this. I hate when there's ads in the middle of a live stream. So
Oh,
that's fixed now. Sorry, guys. That's a setting that just got marked.
so I did check too. So right now, so 1/4 is 619. That's the cheapest price I found before we went on. 619. A half is 1,221, and an ounce is $2,353. But of course, your 1 ounce is going to be your lowest premium. But I'll tell you right now, I don't have the disposable income to buy at an ounce. But I'm thankful that I shop around and I save my money throughout the month, and I'll purchase a 1/10.
And
Hi,
you know,
Paul
I
Hampton.
think for a lot of people, it's a good option versus waiting until you have enough money for an entire ounce.
Hmm.
If you had done that over the last 10 months, let's say you could buy a 10th ounce every month, or you have to wait
Hmm.
10 months, you'd be buying an ounce, and all the 10th ounces would have been less money than buying an ounce today,
Yeah.
or maybe close to it, right? It might be kind of close to the same price. But um, the other reason I like fractional is this. Let's say that some of these predictions come true and we see $2,500 gold. Let's say we see $3,000 gold. You don't necessarily want to sell a whole ounce of gold if you're needing to use it for something. And I know a lot of you are saying, I'm not gonna sell my gold ever. I thought the same thing, and I've had to sell some of mine. So being able to sell a 10th ounce is a lot easier than selling a half an ounce, sorry,
Mhm.
a full ounce. Stores are more likely to take it. You can find someone easier that you can sell it to in person. And I think quarter ounces and half ounces are fine too, if that's what you're wanting to go with. So it
Sure.
really
It's
depends on your budget.
It depends on your budget and what you're able to afford. I was just showing that, because a lot of people are very, dead set against the fractional and saying it's so much more money and you're losing money. I'm here to tell you, I have not. And if you shop around, you get great prices. And if you have a relationship with a coin store or somebody online that you buy from, and you place those calls, I've made some message that, look, I'm looking for a 1/10 at this price. Are you able to do that? And I've had a lot of yeses, and then I've had a lot of nos. But if I hear no here, I mean, I'm going to continually look. And so I've just done very well at finding the deals. And I want to go back to, I just saw this comment that I wanted to address. I bought 69 ounces of sterling silver flatware yesterday, 15% below spot. You know, I'm all about that because sterling silver is still silver, and it's still, a way to hedge against inflation. And my gosh, sometimes you can get it cheaper than you can a silver round. And you can find those deals. Because you can go to Goodwill and find sterling silver, and people don't even know it's sterling.
You can, and a lot of people are going around finding they're finding old tea sets that are sterling silver and flatware, and
I am.
they've got places they can either flip it to, or they can take it to a refinery and maybe they'll melt it down.
I have both,
Um,
but
you can do both.
and then in turn you can take that and maybe buy some gold with it, because that's what I do. I flatware, and I'll bring it to a refinery once I get enough and I've made some good money, and then I will turn that into gold. So it's not just saving your money. You could actually flip stuff and then put your money into gold.
Totally. And so that's kind of where I'm at, Nick. I'm looking for other ways of turning things around the house into money, right? Into gold and silver. I'm looking at taking some of the coins that I bought that are more premium and moving those on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And then doubling the amount of ounces I have. So I'm starting to do some of that. OC Stacker brings up, if you can find any gold at Costco, the premiums are very low on the gold at Costco. It's kind of a loss leader. I did a short on it the other day. I have a long video. I just haven't had time to finish editing it. But most of the channels that have been talking about Costco are missing the point that I'm making, which is it's a new loss leader. As a marketing guy, I can tell you that companies try to offer products that they think will get people excited to come into the store at a price that is like at their cost or even below it. It's called a loss leader. The gold is probably a loss leader, just like the hot dogs.
So, I mean, you have to really move on those to get them. So you better have them. You have to have the money because they sell fast. And what I think they were only selling them online. And I don't have a cost. You have to also be a member to Costco.
They're in store too. So I called last Friday.
But this is the second time around. The first time around, it was only online for the gold.
Well, it's changed. They've done it multiple times now. So it was only online. Okay. You could only buy like 2. And that was it lifetime. And then they changed it to you can buy 5 every day that they have them. And so OC Stacker called around and found one by him, a Costco that had 50 of them last Friday. And so I had my camera equipment. And as soon as I was done with work at 2:30, I headed out there. And something else I had to do I get my car washed or something for my wife. And by the time I got there at 4, Nick, at 3:40, I called them and said, "Do you have any gold left?" They said, "Out of the 50, we have 2 left." Okay, they sold 48 gold bars in one day. And by the time I got there, 18 minutes later, they were all gone.
So do you have to be a member of Costco's as well? Because that's another added expense on top of, so you see me, I would actually put that into my cost dollar per average when I'm buying stuff like that. Is come on now. I put my taxes, I put the shipping, I would put my membership fees.
Hey, look, if you want to take the tax advantage, you can try to do that, I guess.
I'm talking about in my own numbers, in my own spreadsheets.
Yeah, I mean, I pay like $100 a year for Costco, and I make like $400 off the credit card, and it's all.
Well, I guess it's all relative, but for me, I'm watching it. So I would divide it by, because on how many times I go to the store. I mean, I'm anal like that, because that's still added cost on top of that is a membership, because a lot of people were buying the memberships just to get the gold. And I have
heard of that. So if you're doing that, for sure. And if you're not doing that and you go buy some gold, it might be a way to write off your Costco membership.
Right, because I do not have a Costco near me, so I would have to get a membership and only be able to purchase online. So, yeah,
and for that, the price may be different online. It may be more expensive buying it online. A lot of times that happens with Costco. The prices are a little higher. And if you guys don't know that, go do a little cost.
Okay, so let's read this question. What do you think about this?
So here's my answer to my first thought to this is, if you don't already know people in your city that you can pay with silver, then you need to start doing that. I've got people I can go and buy a car from with silver. I've got people I can go pay to get a doctor's visit. I've got people I can pay with silver to get my car serviced. I've got other people that will take silver for see what is the other stuff that they'll do.
I
I
do
haven't
run a
found
quick
any
ship.
food places that'll take it, or grocery stores yet, because that's all national chains. But I found about 4 or 5 places I can use silver, and I want to build that community bigger. So I would say, if you're planning on ever using silver as real money, you need to build your community today and
Um,
get ready
that
for
would
it.
we just don't have a large population, and I can be quite honest with you. I don't know who I would, you know, could use silver and gold to go purchase anything.
You,
Maybe
you may not for a while, but
not for a while. I'm hoping that'll get, move that way. But, you know, I don't know. I really can't think of anybody. And maybe that's why when my family wants, everybody thinks I'm nuts that stack gold and silver, because they're like, well, how could, that ever have any advantage? And of course, yes, I do tell them, and nobody's interested. So that's why
yeah.
I talk to you guys.
So my answer to this would be, build your community today so that you have people that care about gold and silver that you could use to barter with. You're probably not going to use any gold. It'll probably be all silver that you're going to do bartering with for the most part. But here's the thing you got to remember too: if it has to do with something that
On my car?
is going long enough that you're concerned about it, like say the electricity's out for an entire month, I think you're gonna. I don't think you're going to be bartering. I mean, if I'm worried about having enough food to eat, I'm not gonna barter my food for precious metals.
And Steve reiterated what I said. There's some people it's going to be hard to find that, but to take, gold and silver for services. But I just remembered my chiropractor would, but I don't want to pay him in my gold and silver right now, but my chiropractor would.
But here's the thing, Nick, is they're probably more willing to do it when the price of silver is low. When the price of silver is higher, they may be like, no, I'd rather get paid in dollars.
Well, my chiropractor, if he was, it would be gold. It wouldn't be silver.
There you go.
Yeah, because I recall him now telling me that he did get an ounce for some, a bill. So, but I don't think I'd want to be, trading.
And if your chiropractor is charging you 1/10 of an ounce of gold per visit, you need to find a new one.
And he's not, but
just kidding.
But a lot of times though, insurances pay for that too. So I don't think, I don't know. I wonder how much he is, offered that, but
I agree. So like nickel talks about this too. I think brass is going to be a better barter tool. So ammo is going to be a better barter tool than probably any kind of precious metals. And I think things like, once things get established, let's say there's a crazy situation that happens in the country where the banking system's just not working the same way it was, or we've had hyperinflation and you're trying to figure out what to do with it. This is the case for fractional, all the fractional stuff that you have. And metals are going to go up way in value if all of a sudden, we have hyperinflation.
So Sean brings up a good point, to build up your community, to be able to, barter for services with gold and silver. I don't really want a lot of people to know that I am a gold and silver stacker or even a numismatic collector, because I don't want to open myself up.
You're on YouTube.
I realize that, but I'll tell you what, friends, you guys are the only ones that know that. Nobody in my real life except my husband and my daughter and maybe my mom know that I do YouTube. And that's the reason why, is because I didn't want my area and people, because I live in a small town. It's very much like you see on TV. Everybody knows everybody, and they know my mom, they know my dad, because everybody went to school with everybody. I don't want to open myself up for the area, to know what I have.
Yeah, I get the concern. A lot of people talk about the concern. I've been selling precious metals to my friends. My family doesn't know that much that I'm doing this. A lot of my close friends don't know. It's more of my kind of a business acquaintances and stuff. Most of the people I'm talking to, it's never a concern. I mean, I'm talking to people that have a lot more money than I have, and they're like, "Hey, maybe I should add some gold to my portfolio." Yeah, you probably should. And I talked to them about that, and we're talking stockbrokers and people that own their own brokerage companies. So, it hasn't been too big of a concern for me. Yes, it's probably not a good idea to tell people how much you have. It's probably not a good idea to tell them where it's located. But I haven't found any issue about sharing a little bit of information about gold or silver with people, because no one has any idea how much this stuff's worth. And my face is up on YouTube.
But,
So if
but
you
you
know who
know,
I am, you're gonna find me.
but they may not know what it's worth. But when they hear gold and they hear silver, they still can see dollar signs. Um,
Not really.
but I would hate, I do have home security and I do have my own personal security, and I would hate for anybody to come over and have to meet my home security 38. Because I mean, that's what would happen if somebody's breaking into my home.
Don't keep it all at the house then, if you're that worried about it.
I'm not worried about it, but what I mean is that why I don't go out and advertise that I
Well, yeah,
do.
I don't think you should advertise, but if you're having a conversation with the doctor and you have a big bill,
Oh, absolutely, and we talk about it all the time. But I'm just
you
saying, if I
can.
would open myself up and say to every
Oh, no,
target,
okay.
yeah,
No one should do that ever. You
right.
shouldn't go around talking and knocking on all your neighbors' doors and find out if they have gold and silver. They're not going to tell you. You shouldn't let that go
Right,
out.
but then that limits us who we can barter with, because we don't know, because we're not having those conversations with people in our area, is what I'm
Okay,
saying.
so here's what I've done. When I have a big doctor's bill that's going on, I will talk to them every once in a while. They may say, what do you do? And I'll tell them I have a stacking channel and I talk about precious metal investing. That's pretty benign. They don't think I have a bunch of gold or silver. I don't show it on the channel. No one has any real idea of what I have.
True.
And most of it I end up putting it offsite in the vaulting facility. So for me, it's having that conversation to find out if they're open to it. If they have no idea what it is, they don't understand it, then, if they ask you questions about it, maybe you tell them. But otherwise, they don't. And when I found out one of my doctors is a big stacker, we've had a lot more conversations about it. And I can pay him in gold or silver now, which is great. But
Okay.
it's not a huge deal. So you do need to have privacy. Don't do anything stupid or crazy by just going on a bus and talking to a bunch of people about it or doing it out in public. But if you've got a doctor you've known for years and years, and you have a big medical bill that comes up and you want to see if there's a way to do it with precious metals, you can always ask them if they take precious metals. You don't have to say, I have precious metals, but you're going to have to ask some questions or you're never going to find out or build a community.
So the online vaulting facilities that I have here in my area are called U-Haul storage units. I'm just teasing. That's a joke, because I've never heard of those type of places, because we don't have those around. I don't know where one would be except out in Cali.
There's
So
a lot of them around. So, you always run a risk of not holding it. You don't own it.
That's right, Jeff.
You always run that risk. The problem, though, is what happens when you have $10 million of gold? Okay. None of us here probably have that, but there are people that have that.
So when that happens, I will fly it out to Cali myself and put them in their vault.
There you go. So a lot of these facilities are located by airports. A lot of them are super secret, where you have to have a full-on like FBI background check to even be able to store there. And a lot of these places are not set up as bullion repositories. They're set up as like private safe deposit box places.
Oh.
And then other places, you can have it stored out of the country if you want to have metals that are outside of the country. Most of those issues are going to be problems none of us are going to be dealing with, because we're not storing massive amounts of precious metals to where you're needing to make sure it's not in your house. And if you had $10 million in precious metals, I'd probably recommend separating those and not having them all in one location. Even
I've heard about that Stephen, and I would love to. I might go see this in a silver fair.
That's interesting. Okay.
In New Hampshire, and I think yeah, I've seen that advertised. And nickel, yes, yes, I am my Altoids, my Altoid mints, because I'm starving.
Yeah,
so yeah, just eating a couple Altoids. I mean, because they're so good to hold me over until I can go upstairs and eat.
So silver hair stacker, we have Texas bullion repositories, but their prices are just too high to use. It all depends. I did a video on safes. Most people do not have a safe that's strong enough. If you have someone that knows that you have stuff and they're trying to come to your house to break in, they're going to get into your safes.
Yeah.
So if you have a lot of value in metals that you're holding, you know, you want to put a decent amount of money into the protection of them too. You want to hide them so that they're not readily available or easy to find, things like that too. If you're a public figure and you're concerned about people understanding where things are at, you can put things into vaults, you can separate it out. There's going to be fees, but you can also get insurance on it too. So there's just different trade-offs.
There is, but of course you have safe
on your personal stuff at your house though, because now you're telling the insurance company what you have in your house.
Mhm.
And that'd be something that I probably would avoid.
Most homes do have safes. I know mine's in a safe, and a good safe, but you know, people still will try sometimes to break in homes and try to break into your safe. And even though they're not able to get what they came for, it can cause a lot of damage, a lot of injury. You know, you never know who's home or what the situation may be. Weapons and so on and so on. Cinnamon, those are the best. My favorite, the cinnamon ones, but these are the peppermint ones because I could not find the cinnamon ones when I went to the store the other day on my way to work. I wanted
the wintergreen ones more.
Oh, spearmint, that's my favorite too, but I have not been able to find those.
Yeah, they're hard to find. The blue tin.
I love the blue tin, but I got the red tin, but I'd rather have the cinnamon tin.
Yeah, I don't see the cinnamon too much either.
Can you recommend a safe that's not electronic? No, but my husband could because it's a gun safe.
Yeah. So
I'm not really sure.
The skinny on safes. If you go to a store that sells safes and you're not buying them online, they can switch out the mechanisms. So they can put in a digital one is usually standard. They can put in a mechanical mechanism. And some safes will have two different locks. One is like a harder combination. One's an easier one.
Oh, that's good. That's rich right there.
That can help too. So, you know, you don't technically need a safe to hide things and keep it away from people. A safe can help, especially if you have a safe that does fires. But safes are going to range from anywhere from hundreds of dollars up to like say $15,000. If you have a lot of value in metals, you might want to be looking for a much heavier duty safe. If you live in an area where there's burglaries, I just had a bunch of neighbors robbed over here 2-3 weeks ago by Chilean cartels, and last year they hit 12 homes in my neighborhood. If you have things like that going on, you cannot put a regular gun safe in. You have to get something that's highly theft rated, or they're going to break into it, because that's what they do. They break into people's safes and they take their watches and jewelry and everything. So you gotta be careful with that. I'll try to update my safe video. I did talk to that company about trying to do an updated one, so we'll try to do that this year sometime.
Well, we hit our hour limit, and I'm so hungry.
Run. So guys, yeah, look, I'm gonna say California is awesome where I live. I live in a great place. Yes, we have Chilean cartels in here doing stuff, and if they're not in a neighborhood near you, they're coming to you if you live in a nice area. And there's
in California, right? Because I hope that it's too cold
all over the country. It's all over the country. So
it's too cold here in Maine for them to come here.
You guys live too far apart from each other. They're not going to do it. But if you live in a more densely suburban area, and you live fairly close to the border, they're coming. You know, they're hitting a lot of places in California. I believe they're starting to hit Texas and Florida. So
yeah, we're having a problem with immigration. We're having an influx of Canadians coming down Gold Maple.
Yeah, the Canadians probably aren't breaking.
The Canadians, I hope they don't have gangs or cartels.
Yeah, so it's a different. These are cartels that come on. They come on with travel visas. So they come in to do a job for 3 or 4 months. It's all undercover. It's not people. They're not cartel guys showing up with guns. They don't have guns.
What do they have?
They have safe cracking tools. So they're looking for safes, and they're looking for things that are in the master bedroom, and they go in for 15 minutes and then they're out. So if you've got a safe that can handle, drills,
sophisticated.
Yeah.
Wow.
It depends on where you're at. So it's pros and cons to everything. Outside of that, I live in a very safe place. A lot of people don't lock their cars. A lot of people don't lock their houses all the time. You just have to watch out for those guys, and they canvass houses. They're not like going into everybody's house. They're waiting.
That's the luxury
what's happening
here. And so don't come up to my state. But the
They're
luxury
not
we
gonna
have
come.
here is you run into the grocery store and it's cold. The cars are still running. They leave the keys right in the car and you go get what you need and your car's still in the same spot where you left it.
There you go.
And my aunt and uncles, my mom, my dad, I could go to their house and right now, if they're not home, I'm getting right in because they don't lock anything. And that's just a luxury we eventually, I'm sure, will move away from that. And we are slowly. But as of right now, no, because I think the last, person that was new at go over my aunt's house was the new bear that she has in the backyard. And I mean, that's for real, the bear den. So
Bears are great protection for your house. Just put a big fence around it. Get a couple bears to
except the
stay.
bear never wants to come out when it's supposed to. My
There you
bear only comes out on trash night at midnight so he can dump out the trash.
go. Gosh.
Oh, I got to show you the video because it looks like literally we have it on the ring cam, and my husband puts a rock and then he puts all these things on it and ties them and stuff to try to get him locked down. Nope, the took his hands, just took the rock off like this, dropped it. Then literally like a person.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then the trash cans were found in the woods. And then he obviously didn't like what I had in the trash can this time because he'd done on the road because I had cough drops. And you know how like you go through your medicine cabinet and I threw a bunch of cough drops away. Well, they're all in the middle of the road and he doesn't pick up after himself.
Find out something they don't like and put a bunch of that on the top of the trash can. See if they'll.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're still crazy little boogers.
Yeah, they get into everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have bears, but they're very far away. Our biggest thing's cougars, mountain lions. We've got to watch out for, and packs of coyotes and stuff like that. Well, Nick, I think we better let you run to go get some food. So anyway, it was good chatting today.
It's good to see you and good to see everybody in the chat.
Thanks for coming out, and we'll be on again next week.
Yes, we will. I'm just teasing. This time though, 6 to 7 on Thursday.
On Thursday.
And I'll make sure I eat before then. Bye, guys.